Good evening, welcome to ITV News. This is Wednesday night's calendar.
Hello there, thanks for joining us. Here are tonight's main stories.
I'm an old age pensioner, I'm 79 now, and by the time this comes, what's going to happen?
The caravan residents fearing they could be left homeless as Bradford Council plans to sell off assets to balance the books.
Charging a fortune, the electric vehicles being written off after damage to batteries, which could cost thousands to replace.
It's damage to the most expensive component on the vehicle. It's about 40% potentially of the value of the car. So as the car ages, the ability to cost effectively repair diminishes.
On target, the Doncaster darts demon who's fast becoming an icon of the Ocky.
And life in the fast lane, how Granbagini is helping older people dust off the cobwebs in a supercar out for a spin. First tonight, around 100 people living permanently on a caravan park near Bradford fear they could be made homeless after the local council announced plans to sell the site.
The De Brodden Park on Belden Moor is one of a number of parcels of land and buildings that Bradford Council is looking to sell to close a £150 million financial black hole and stave off the threat of going bankrupt.
Well, the council says it's still to decide on how the sale will go ahead, but for some of the residents who've been living there for years, there are fears they'll be priced out of their homes if a new operator takes over. John Hill reports.
It stands high on the moors above Bradford. For many of those who call Dobroden Park home, it's become a haven from some of the troubles of the world below. But for how much longer? John and Barbara moved from their bricks and mortar home in Bradford 6 years ago. Now that the site may be sold, their future is uncertain.
I'm an old age pensioner, I'm 79 now, and by the time this comes, what's going to happen? You know, it's very
we were
worrying.
safe here, you know, as long as we needed it. But it's turning out it isn't now.
They're not alone. Hi Emma.
Hiya John, hiya, come on.
Is it shoes
Come
off?
on in. Yes please, if you don't mind.
Mucky day. Emma, a midwife, and Marcus, a caravan engineer, their 2 daughters and 2 dogs have lived here for 5 years. They love it. They love the community, but fear it could all go.
I'm a worrier. I worry about my family. I worry about some of the elderly people up here. You've got people, 94 years old, living in their own caravan. Well, where do you go to live at 94?
I know people around site. It's a family. It's not just a home. It's a community, and it's scary to know that could just be ripped away.
The land the park sits on is owned by Bradford Council, but has been leased to the Lawrence family since the 1950s. They've lived here and spent tens of thousands of pounds running the park since then. The council needs cash. Philip Lawrence, who's lived here since he was a child, has offered to buy it outright, but has been told there are rival, higher bids.
You know, Philip, that the council is obliged to get the best value for money. It has to do that, doesn't it?
Yes, we appreciate that, which is fair enough, but only it would be good if we could be given the opportunity to buy it at the highest price. But going by a sealed bid, we don't get that opportunity. If a large company bought it, the only way they can expect a return on their investment is to put new caravans on. So everybody with a caravan, say, that's 5 years old, they would simply be told you've got to remove your caravan and buy a brand new one from us at thousands and thousands of pounds.
The local authority says it first told the Lawrence family of its intention to sell the site back in March of 2024. And it says it is obliged to get the best value for the asset. It says it'll let the family know as soon as possible about how it plans to proceed with the sale.
For now, though, the fate of this place is uncertain, and its residents can only wait and hope. John Hill, ITV News, on Belden Moor.
To our next story now, and hundreds of thousands of electric car drivers could be facing an extra financial burden, with vehicles being written off completely after suffering just minor damage.
Figures reveal West Yorkshire is at the forefront of the race to go green with plug-in vehicles. More than 625,000 cars were registered between 2009 and 2023, and that puts the county third in the country after Outer London and Manchester.
But Nick Smith's been hearing from one mechanic in Goole who says excessive repair costs sometimes results in a write-off because it's cheaper.
The electric revolution on our roads is well underway, as now 1 in every 4 new cars purchased runs entirely on batteries. But is our vehicle repair sector struggling to cope with consumer demand? At the Repair and Restore body shop in Goole, mechanics here say the high cost of battery repair and a shortage of trained technicians can mean EVs end up being scrapped all too easily.
What a lot of insurance companies are actually doing is they're checking the battery health of the vehicle when they come to value a vehicle. When the vehicles are going into the approved repair shop, sometimes they can be written off unnecessarily because of average repair costs for the garage, and also them not having potentially the trained technicians to work on those vehicles. It ends up with it means that the vehicles are getting written off for no really specific reason.
EVs can be up to 50% more expensive to repair than other vehicles, and only around 1 in 6 motor technicians have the safety qualifications to work on them. Thatcham Research assesses vehicles for safety and insurability. EV specialists here say even a minor impact on a battery pack can consign a vehicle for scrap.
What we're seeing is challenges with minor damage. This is where the bracketry that holds the battery in place can come out right to the edge of the vehicle. And in that case, the bracket gets lightly damaged or contacted. And that means that the battery would need to be repaired or replaced. So battery damage is quite rare, but it's damage to the most expensive component on the vehicle. It's about 40% potentially of the value of the car. So as the car ages, the ability to cost effectively repair diminishes. So what needs to happen is, unfortunately, that vehicle to be written off. We need the manufacturers to design their batteries more for repairability. We need to see more repaired batteries or even refurbished batteries in the marketplace to keep insurance costs down.
Insurers are definitely too quick to write off electric vehicles. If they suspect that there may be any damage to the battery, they are prone to scrap it. And not only is that incredibly wasteful, it's also not great news for the second-hand electric vehicle market. We are going to get to the point, though, where we will absolutely have the technicians that we need to service the number of electric vehicles on our roads. Because by 2030, 80% of the cars that we drive in the UK will be electric.
The government says the transition to electric vehicles is a crucial step towards achieving our net zero target, and investment is going into ensuring there's a widespread network of qualified technicians. But until the shortage is overcome, it will mean more and more repairable EVs are finding themselves on the scrap heap. Nick Smith, ITV News.
OK, you're watching Wednesday night's calendar. Stay with us because still to come before the end of the programme. Aiming high, the Yorkshire Darts Queen set for the top. Well, treble 20 actually.
And Kerry's hit the bullseye with some spectacular shots from near the Arctic Circle.
Yes, all eyes on the skies for the prize this week. Some very active space weather at the moment. Great news from the Royal Air Force. And also some of you saw it a little closer to home last night. All the detail a little later on.
More of the day's news now, and a man has denied murdering the paedophile Ian Watkins at Wakefield Prison last month. The Lost Prophets frontman was stabbed to death while serving a 29-year sentence for child sexual offences. Samuel Dodsworth, who was also serving time at the prison, pleaded not guilty this morning at a pre-trial hearing in Leeds. The other inmate accused, Rashid Goodell, refused to appear and didn't enter a plea. They're both due to stand trial next May.
A campaigner from Chesterfield says the government's possible U-turn on compensation for millions of so-called waspy women will come too late for many, including her own sister. They're women who were born in the 1950s and say they weren't given enough warning that the state pension age was rising from 60 to 65. Financial payouts have previously been rejected by successive ministers, but what's described as new evidence is now being looked at. Angela Madden has been leading the fight for the waspy women.
Almost 400,000 women have died while we've been campaigning these last 10 years. My own sister, Imelda Cole, died in June 2024. She was just 70 years old. So many women like Imelda have died without justice, without seeing this come to conclusion.
The Transport Secretary says she will be able to reveal more about the government's plans for Northern Powerhouse Rail in the next couple of months. Speaking at a select committee session in Parliament, Heidi Alexander said the government was committed to improving rail in the north. Last week, Calendar reported that plans for the huge infrastructure project were delayed, with some warning they won't come until 2026.
So I hope to be able to say more on that in the next couple of months. We are fully committed to ensuring that the great cities of the north of England have better rail connectivity. We do want to get it right though, and I also want to make sure that it is balanced east and west of the Pennines.
The NHS is urging people to get their flu vaccinations after a surge in cases in our region. There are 3 times more cases than there were this time last year. Around 350,000 jabs are available to eligible adults, with people being told they can book through their GP, pharmacy or the NHS app.
With the flu wave starting to circulate a little bit earlier, it just means that not everyone who needed to be vaccinated has been vaccinated yet. Hence the drive to really try and get those people in and get them vaccinated and protected.
There's a critical nationwide need for basic essentials like nappies, coats, even cots and beds, as baby banks experience a sharp rise in demand. That's according to one South Yorkshire charity.
Yes, Baby Basics in Sheffield say the number of families referred to them has gone up a fifth on last year.
Meanwhile, the Baby Bank Alliance says it gave out 3.5 million essential items last year, almost 1.5 times the year before. Kevin Ashford reports.
This baby bank in Sheffield is a place where families can get essential items, and demand for their services is especially high at this time of year.
I think what we find during this season, in the lead up to Christmas and into the new year, is winter clothing is one of the most important things that are needed for families. Kids need to stay warm, coats are expensive especially, so we have a high demand for winter clothing and winter shoes, but also beds is really important.
Christina volunteers at this baby bank. In the past, she's needed its support.
At first I was a little bit nervous, but then because I volunteer here, I just said to some of them, I'm going to take this, and they're like, it's okay. But I will admit, as the time has gone on, I used to take little, but some months it's been that little bit more because some months have been harder than others.
These are clothes for different ages, different groups.
The baby bank's director says even parents with jobs are having to turn to them for help.
We see people coming in their work uniform, so lots of people, it's in work poverty, and they're struggling with everyday stuff. So we've had lots of requests about winter stuff, and that's one of the reasons they come.
The Baby Bank Alliance says 3.5 million essential items like nappies, clothes and cots were given out last year. That's an increase of 143% on the previous year.
The run up to Christmas, obviously it's getting colder, so everybody's feeling the stretch with, utility bills, warm coats for children, waterproof shoes so they can go and splash in puddles, get out the house and just, have a joyful childhood, as well as things like obviously festivals and celebrations that children shouldn't miss out on.
Campaigners say pressure could be eased on parents in the autumn budget later this month if the 2-child benefit cap was removed.
That's when you're on universal credit, you're able to get payments for your first and second child, but not for your third, fourth or subsequent child. That's really impacting families across the UK, and it does impact families that come to baby banks as well. If you were to remove that policy, and you can do that with the budget, that's what we're campaigning for, then that would lift 400,000 children out of poverty immediately.
And there have been increasingly heavy hints that may happen. The government also says it plans to publish a strategy to tackle the root causes of child poverty. In the meantime, organisations like baby banks will be doing what they can to help families this Christmas. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
OK, let's get some sport now. Chris is with us in the studio. Evening, Chris.
Evening.
Now, we hate to say we told you so, but we did.
No,
we
you don't hate to say it.
Well, OK, fair enough. I'm saying it right now.
OK.
But the woman that we're about to see on the screen behind you, we did say earlier this week we're going to see a lot more of that young lady.
Yes, and here you go. What a superstar she is, eh? She might already have been eliminated from the Grand Slam of darts last night, but she claimed another major scalp.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Now, in recent times, a night at the darts has become quite the spectacle, hasn't it? Flashing lights, loud music, fancy dress. What it's lacked, maybe, is a strong female icon. Until now, that is. Step forward, Doncaster's very own Bo Greaves, and there she is. Last month, I should say, Bo beat world #1 Luke Littler, and next year will become just the second woman to compete on the PDC World Tour. She's the darts diva from Doncaster who's gaining quite the fan base.
Yeah, it's a great life. I wouldn't change it for anything. I absolutely love playing darts. So as well, I look forward to playing. I look forward to, I don't really call it work, but just playing. And yeah, I'd love to be just a successful dart player within, I suppose, the men's bit.
To complete the comeback.
Last night, Bo came back from 3 legs down to beat Nico Springer in the Grand Slam of darts. And beating men is becoming quite the habit for Bo. Last month, she defeated world champion Luke Littler to become the first woman to reach the World Youth Final.
I played Luke quite a few times and he's always beat me, so it was nice to get a win over him. And obviously it made the headlines and stuff, so yeah, I've definitely got a confidence boost out of it. I do feel confident that, you know, if you could beat him, then you can beat anyone type thing, can't you? So, you know, I don't think he was too shocked because he knows how I can play. But other than that, it was a great win, and yeah, I was proud of myself.
The youngest of 6 children in her family, Bo began throwing darts at just 10.
It was all I ever did, really. I never did anything else. I didn't really like school as such, and then I just wanted to do that all the time. And then, I went around the pubs and that with my dad and my brother. It was like a family thing, and then eventually I just started playing on my own a lot. Played county, played for Yorkshire and stuff, and I played for England, and then before you know it, people know you and you start playing well, and yeah, I've just been lucky enough to have a nice, so far so good career from starting obviously when I was 10.
And despite all of her success, Bo has never forgotten her roots.
I loved on him, obviously I always have, but it's nice. I go in the pubs and stuff, and people don't really want to bother me, but I quite like it. It's nice to have the support of where you live, where you come from, do you know what I mean? That's what I like about it. You know, I do feel genuinely supported from people obviously involved in darts around there. So yeah, it's really sweet.
And no doubt she'll have plenty of support over the next few months. First up, the World Youth Final next weekend, and then the World Championship at Alexandra Palace at the end of the year. Yeah, and a tour card as well. What a year it's been for Bo already, and it could get even better for her.
And she's only 21 years old.
Well, she seems so unassuming for somebody that's getting so much attention at the minute.
Yeah, well, she takes it all in her stride, doesn't she? I suppose that's her upbringing, isn't it, in Doncaster, you know,
Cool
salt of the earth.
Fantastic.
What it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah,
we wish her
absolutely.
all the best, don't we? Especially it's going to be a busy end to the year for Bo. OK, there was a bit of football played last night in the EFL Trophy. Both Doncaster and Bradford were already through to the knockout stages of the competition, but despite that, Bradford boss Graham Alexander wasn't happy with his team, surrendering a 1-0 lead to lose 3-1. Elsewhere, Barnsley are also through despite losing 2-0 at home to Lincoln. Harrogate beat Newcastle's under-21s 3-1 to finish top of their group with maximum points, and Chesterfield scraped into the next round despite throwing away a 2-goal lead to draw with Liverpool's under-21s before losing on penalties. That's all your sport from me for this evening.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
very much.
Short but sweet.
Short but sweet.
Lovely. Thank you.
Just how you
The ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Gamal.
Coming up, the Prime Minister is accused of being at war with his own cabinet after the Health Secretary is blamed for plotting to oust him.
Matthew Gravel.
The neo-Nazi who worked at Buckingham Palace is tracked down by ITV News. And the surprise royal appearance on Dancing with the Stars. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Right, Kerry's here now. Bring some decorum back to the programme, will you?
Well, I'll start with the bad news, shall I?
Okay.
Okay, I did mention Friday and it
like
could be
bad
really
news.
horrible, so we'll just get it out of the way and then we can crack on with something a little bit more, a bit nicer. So Friday, 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, we've got a yellow warning. It's be aware that there could be some disruption, especially to southern parts of our region, so South Yorkshire and North Notts and North East Derbyshire, and that is for quite a lot of rainfall. Basically, we've got an area of rain that's going to sit over us. Where it does so, it will produce a lot of rain, horrible driving conditions, maybe the risk of some flooding and some strong easterly winds as well. So if you're out at the coast, gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour with rain, it's not going to feel very nice. So keep tuned. That's not tomorrow, that's Friday.
It was horrible rain last night.
Yeah.
Really
and
bad.
Yeah, more rain. It just keeps coming, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we just want to talk about space weather instead because it's amazing at the moment. This happened yesterday, a solar flare, an absolutely huge solar flare. It's called Sunspot AR4274. It's the largest this year and the most active since 2012. That kind of makes sense because space weather goes in cycles and seasons every 11 years, so that would kind of make sense. I mentioned it on Friday that we could see it. It's the third sunspot in a week, but we had lots of cloud with, of course, the fireworks and the bonfires, so we couldn't see it. I thought I'd show you this. The further north you are, of course, to the poles, the better you can see it. This is from the Royal Air Force. They put this on social media over the last few days, so it's taken from a plane within the high north, which is the Arctic Circle and the Arctic regions. Look at this. How about that for a seat with a view?
I was just going to say,
it's like something from Star Wars. It's one of those when you sit at your desk and open something in the morning and go, oh, wow, absolutely amazing. But if you're thinking, oh, Keza, that's not fair. We don't live in the Arctic Circle. This is Ilkley, the Cow and Calf, last night, early hours of this morning. A big thank you to Mark Johnson of Leeds for that. Of course, the reds interacting with the oxygen in our upper atmosphere and the greens, slightly lower atmosphere with nitrogen. There you go.
Amazing stuff. It looks fantastic.
Do I look excited?
You do.
You are.
So
cool.
Even our director's excited as well.
It's so cool. I just can't get enough of it. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you.
Well, finally, Sunday drivers to the back of the queue, please, because these mature petrol heads have got a need for speed.
Yes, a group of care home residents have been taken out for a spin in some high-performance sports cars. It's all thanks to a man from Sheffield who's helping to tackle loneliness among older people.
Well, you're going to love what he's called his project. Gran Bikini has taken a group of residents in Leeds out on the road before a slap-up lunch. Matt Price tagged along for the ride.
They all have plenty of fuel in the tank, great tread, and are revved up and ready to go. But that's enough about the passengers. You join us on a day out with a difference for residents at this care home, swapping a mid-morning cuppa for a McLaren as part of a project to tackle loneliness.
I think it's stimulating, it's the looking forward. It's not just the event, it's the actual talking about it, it's the memories about it, and it might just trigger a memory of enjoying something with a husband or loved one a number of years ago.
And this is Jane. She's one of a handful of residents being treated to the works by Gran Bikini, a team of fast car enthusiasts which helps older people get out and about with free rides in high-performance cars. The fun, fast, legal journey takes them here to a motoring cafe in Sherburn and Elmet. A coffee, a catch-up and a new hot topic of conversation.
My car is a Ford Fiesta. You don't go very far in those. It's just good for your brain, I think. You know, you don't just want to be doing the same thing over and over, do you?
The project is the brainchild of Mark from Sheffield. He wanted to help combat the issue of loneliness after his own grandmother experienced it. And giving something back, he says, is more thrilling than these fast-paced machines.
Get out here, shall we? It's unbelievable. I mean, it's so heartwarming and overwhelming in many ways. You know, you're in a confined space where you get to really know who they are, and they tell you things that, you know, they wouldn't be comfortable necessarily telling people that they know because they're trying to protect them.
Is that quite dignified? No wonder this car puts a smile on your face with a price tag of £178,000 and a top speed of 215 miles an hour. It is a thrill seeker's dream, no matter what your age. They're always on the lookout for new drivers to join the team. Jane will no doubt be putting her CV forward. She's become all too familiar with life in the fast lane. Matt Price, ITV News.
Jane's trading in a Fiesta, isn't she, for something a bit faster?
I do not blame him. Matt creaked as he climbed out of that car just then.
He did well, though.
Not great. Right, let's get the forecast now. Here's Kerry.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. So we've had rain nudging its way northwards during the second half of today. There was limited amounts of sunshine this morning, a rather cloudy day overall, turning unsettled, and then that rain nudging its way northwards overnight, so improving from the south as we head through into tomorrow, the best chance of any drier and brighter conditions. And then all eyes on Friday, wet and windy, some strong and gusty winds out towards the coast, heavy and persistent rain and starting to feel colder. So there is that theme of the colder air coming in from the north. It's a bit of a north-south split, and along that dividing line of the air masses is where we're most likely to see the outbreaks of heavy rain during the course of Friday. It's not really until the end of the weekend that we get that air from the northerly, and it starts to really feel much colder as we head into next week. So overnight tonight, the weather front continues to journey north, still producing some fairly heavy and persistent rain for a time, particularly to north and west Yorkshire, gradually easing as we head into the early hours. It's still mild and still fairly breezy for the coasts and the hills. Very sometimes as we head into tomorrow, 7:29 and 12 minutes past 4. So that front will linger first thing tomorrow. So still some heavy and persistent rain to parts of North Yorkshire, misty and murky over the hills. Further south, the best of the brighter spells, some sunny spells coming through. But even here into the afternoon, there's a chance of a sharp shower. Temperature-wise, we're still mild, but we're starting to get that northerly. And it's that northerly that packs in as we head through into Friday, and the rain seeps up from the south. And where it sits, it's going to give us a lot of rain, strong and gusty winds. A bit better though through the weekend.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There you go. We need to be patient if you want the aurora, if you want the cold weather, or you want to capture this at sunrise. It's Studley Royal near Ripon.
Beautiful.
A big thank you to Mike for the shot. Absolutely gorgeous.
Hello, dear.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
that's your caption.
That is
So
your
lovely.
caption. Thank you.
Good night. That's it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.